Take the changes, hit the track, line of a million, time to look down. They try to control us with their lines and their schemes, but I'm a rise above, fulfill my wildest dreams. The beats be pain, the rhymes be tight, shot rap flowing through the darkest night. But don't mistake me for the sellouts on the screen. I'm spitting truth, we can question what you've seen. Mind over me, I'll break free from the mold. Trap rap revolution, we taking control. No more puppet strings, we standing tall. With every word I speak, I'll make them all fall.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It is Tuesday. I feel like it's Monday, but it's not Monday because we had Memorial Day yesterday. And I wanted to thank everyone who has sacrificed and served for this great country. And I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. I hope everybody had an amazing weekend. I did not. I had to work, but it went by quick. And I have to say it was rather fun. It actually was rather fun, but I would have liked to have been home catching up on everything here in the Karen Reed case. But we have a little bit of an opportunity this morning where I do have to work this afternoon, but I figured I can come in, stream for a couple hours, watch a little bit of the trial with y'all, maybe get 2 hours in, and then I do have to go. And then I'm hoping doing a recap possibly tomorrow night or Thursday night. Last Thursday was really good for the channel. I think I had almost close to about 1,800 viewers. So maybe we'll go back on Thursday and do a recap and catch up with everything. But we're going to have Brian Higgins back on the stand this morning. From what I'm understanding, Alan Jackson is not there. And David Yannetti will take over the cross. I'm not sure how much longer they'll have Higgins on the stand, but we'll see what happens here. So we're just waiting for court to start. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Did everybody have a nice weekend? Let me know in the chat. What did y'all do? Cook food, barbecue, hang out with friends and family, or just get some rest? What did everybody do? What did everybody do? We got, let's see, let's go up. Virginia's checking in. Good morning. Red Rose asking, why is court only today and this week? It's never going to end. So many days off. Yeah, I think just with the holiday kind of mucked a lot of things up. And also, I think some jurors had some commitments to vacations. And from what I understand, they really want to just stick with this core jury and not have alternates come in. I can understand that. You know, you have to look at the fact of, you know, these jurors that have been there have sat almost 4 weeks, and to have an alternate come in at this point would probably skew maybe a possible decision, or someone that's not really as familiar with all that testimony previous to what they've been caught up. You know, they're not in the room. So, you know, having the jury and have that impact of those same people being in there every day, they can get a feel of how that courtroom is. Jessica checking in says, hit the like button. She did it multiple times. Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. Rogue, a channel member and moderators here this morning. Thank you for being here. Wine Cellars says, good morning, humans. Good morning to you. Kelly Reed checking in. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Good to see you here. Very, very good to see you here. Let's see. Good morning. Toots checking in. Crime Time checking in. Hey. Mindy checking in. Let's see. DB says, waiting for when conspiracy charges are filed against the small circle. I think we're all waiting for that. And, you know, I think we're getting a little bit more into the insight of what is going on in this case, that the huge cover up in corruption in this case. I mean, if Brian Higgins had nothing to hide, why would he take selected information and turn that over to the Canton PD? Why would he destroy his phone and his SIM card? And, you know, I did a reaction video on it. We went through all the cross the other night, and, you know, he cowered like a little man, like a little boy when asked those tough questions. Like, he knows that he did something wrong. Now, to the level of what piece that he plays in this role, it's still, you know, in my mind, still being kind of sorted out. I haven't really pinned. I think I have an idea of the major people that played in the beating death of John O'Keefe, and the people that dragged him out to the front of 34 Fairview. I'm getting a clearer picture. Obviously, I think Brian Higgins and Brian Albert, huge part. And then the question surrounds around Colin Albert as well. Jennifer McCabe and Matt McCabe played a huge role in this as well, too. So I'm just trying to I'm getting a better feel for the timeline and the times. I think Jackson and Yannetti and Little have done an amazing job at that and putting out there, the information to kind of conclude in our mind of what possibly could have happened. The sad thing about it is we're really going to never know. We weren't inside that house, but we can get all the details up to that certain point to make a conclusion in our mind. But as I still continue to sit here and have talked about this trial since last September, I have not seen anything so far in this. I'm not, and listen, I'm a free Karen Read supporter, 1000%, but I'm trying to look at this on the outside and stand in the middle and say, okay, if I was a juror on this jury right now, is there really any evidence that the Commonwealth has brought forth to convict Karen Read of all these frivolous charges? I don't see anything. In all the chat groups and everything that else have I been in, and I've even checked in on these law and crime and court TV chats, and they're all saying she's innocent. She's innocent. There's nothing that the Commonwealth has brought forth. I haven't seen anything. I think the only thing at this point that would sink it for me is seeing a video. Let's see a video, a photograph, something. But nothing. Kelly checking in says, hey, beautiful people. Good morning, Brian. Bang, bang. Nice to see you. Good morning, Donna. Good morning. Yeah, jurors have vacation. Yep. Rogue says Lally's a POS for making them go through more trauma for this bullshit. And I mean, look at Judge Bev, as they came forward with this lots of federal laws that were broken via Brian Higgins. Judge Bev goes, well, I don't know how much I'm going to allow it in. But this is the thing, is that this was all said in front of the jury. So that's good. It's on the record. So keep in mind that when these questions are put out and the judge is sustaining them, the jury is still hearing that. It's still on the record, which is great. They just can't ask deeper questions, or maybe they didn't question in the correct form. We're hearing that a lot too. Paula checking in. Good morning. KC checking in. Good morning. Hello. Let's see who else we got. Sean says Brian Higgins, ATF, always telling fibs. 7 checking in. Good morning. Diane checking in. Good morning. We're just waiting for court to start here. I got a little bit of time before work, so I'll stream up to probably about 11:15, and then unfortunately, you're probably going to have to bounce over, watch it on Law and Crime or with another channel. But I'm going to try to get in some testimony this morning, and then we'll do a recap possibly tomorrow, but if not, definitely on Thursday night. Christine, good morning to you. Let's see. Kel's checking in. Good morning to you. Is there a hot mic this morning? Court TV has a stream up, but the fan is not spinning. I'm not sure. I have my volume up. Let me check on Court TV. They're always a little bit late getting started. And, there might be some things that they're discussing. Yeah, I see that on Court TV. The fan, because the shit's about to hit the fan, but I don't see any shaky camera. Kel says, what I see, everybody is lying. Just wait. It's going to catch up to you guys. And that's the thing. When you lie, you can't keep lying to cover a lie, because then you get all those lies and then you're trying to sort, like, what did I say? What did I do? And a perfect example for that for me was when I watched Jennifer McCabe's testimony. When I watched Jennifer McCabe's testimony, what was some of the things that she always had to keep? What was one of the main things that she always had to keep doing? When Jackson called her out on certain things in her testimony, especially to times and details and records, what did she always want to continue to keep doing? Can you show it to me? Can I look at it? That's because this has been rehearsed over in her head for the last 2 years. And I got to keep all of that information sharp and fresh to the lie that I'm carrying. That's why she's always, can you show it to me? I don't know. Maybe I said it. Can I see the record? That's to trigger her mind in all the rehearsal that she's done surrounding all of those key facts. And I mean, one of the most insane things, and I'm hoping the jury sees through this shit, and I'm sure they are. From what I've heard, they're pretty smart people, and they're reacting to Karen's team very well. You know, I go back to Jennifer McCabe when she's on the stand, and she acknowledges, what was it, 623, the Google search, 624 and 624, those three. She says, yep, I did that. I sure did. It's on the record. I did that. But the 227, oh no, that I didn't do that. So the black and white data that's in front of you, that Jackson is showing you, that you've known about, the Celebrite extraction, you acknowledge the 3 searches after 227 and say, yep, that did happen, but 227 didn't happen. If I was a juror right there and I saw that and we're going to go to court, I'd be like, you're full of shit. All right, here we go. I'm going to minimize down in the lower portion.
Jim, counsel.
Counsel, can I see it sidebar?
Already at a sidebar. Oh, I'm sure they will, DB. Wait, they haven't even presented their case yet. You know, they haven't had their opportunity to show. And they're going to show you. Remember the opening statement. Trooper Proctor, all the information.
Versus Karen Reed. Can I have counsel identify themselves for the
I'm going to
record?
be quiet here.
Adam Lally for the Commonwealth. Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Mr. Lally.
Good morning, Your Honor. Laura McLaughlin for the Commonwealth.
Good morning, Ms. McLaughlin.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Below.
Good morning, Ms. Little.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Unetti for Karen Reed.
Good morning, Ms. Giannetti. Good morning, jurors. Before
You are unmuted.
I just want to mention that Attorney Jackson is not here today. Please don't consider that in any way. Certainly don't hold it against Ms. Reed for him not being here. Just don't consider it at all in your deliberations. So I do have to ask you those 3 questions. Were you all able to follow my instructions and refrain from discussing this case with anyone? Yes. Everyone said yes or nodded affirmatively. Were you also able to follow the instruction and refrain from doing any independent research or investigation into this case?
Yes.
Everyone said yes or nodded affirmatively. Did anyone happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case since we left here on? Everyone said no. Thank you very much. All right, let's bring Mr. Higgins in, please. And Ms. Giannetti, you'll be taking over?
I will, Your Honor.
Okay.
Stand in case of court.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to the evidence given to the court and jury in the case down here, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Proceed, Your Honor.
Yes.
Oh, they got a big
Sir, you
folder. This is
provided
gonna
to
be a while.
investigators what you claim were the complete text exchanges between yourself and Karen Reed and yourself and John O'Keefe, correct?
What I provided was the complete, I let them know that it was a complete exchange between myself and the defendant. And I said that I may have had other text strings at other times with Mr. O'Keefe.
I'm going to proceed to ask you a series of questions which call for a yes or no answer. Can we agree that you'll answer yes or no to those questions?
If I can answer yes or no to the best of my ability, I will.
All right, I'm going to keep the question very simple, sir. Okay? You did not provide to investigators any other text messages between you and anyone else.
That's correct.
In September of 2022, you were served with a preservation order for your phone, were you not?
Yes.
After September of 2022, you never received anything in writing that canceled or lifted that preservation order, correct?
That's correct.
After September of 2022, you made the decision to dispose of your phone without consulting anybody about the decision to throw out your phone, correct?
Yes.
Before you threw the phone away, you did a factory reset of it, did you not?
No, I did not.
Well, you previously testified that you testified in another proceeding on June 1st, correct, of 2023?
Yes.
Prior to that June 1st testimony, you met with some people and gave a statement on May 5th of 2023, did you not?
I did meet with them. I don't know if that was the date.
Okay. It was prior to June, correct?
Yes.
All right. May 5th doesn't sound wildly inaccurate, does it?
No.
And when you met with those people on or about May 5th, we'll say, or whatever date it was prior to June 1st of 2023, you told them that you did a factory reset of your phone ending in 5421. Did you not?
I don't recall that. No, I don't recall making that statement.
You don't recall what you said about the factory reset during that interview, we'll call it, in May of 2023, correct?
That's correct.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I looked over at Yannetti when he got up. He had a big folder. So I think Brian Higgins is going to be on the stand for a long time again today. I thought this was going to be a quick in and out. Nope.
Direct your
They're
attention
gonna
to the
work him.
first highlighted line there, sir.
Why don't you give him a second?
If you read that silently to yourself and look up at me when you're done.
I think they want to bury this guy knowing that he's an ATF agent and probably feel he's a big part, a big player in the role of this cover up.
May I approach?
Yes.
Having read that document, sir, does that refresh your memory about telling those people in May of 2023 that you did do a factory reset of your phone?
That's not accurate. I did not tell them that. And I also didn't tell them that I saved texts with my father.
All right, so your testimony is that they got it wrong, correct?
My testimony is I didn't make those statements.
Your testimony is that they got it wrong, yes or no?
Objection.
Sustained.
Well, in any case, you took the SIM card out of your phone, correct?
No, what I testified to was that it's,
Did you take the SIM card out of your phone, yes or no?
I don't know.
Did you testify that that's what you do when you get rid of phones, sir?
What I said was that might have been the extent of it if I was to have done that.
And you either cut up the SIM card or ripped it up, correct?
I believe what I testified to was
I'm
I
not
would have
asking you what you testified to. I'm asking you today, did you either cut up the SIM card or rip it up?
cut it up or broke it.
And you will agree with me that cutting up or breaking the SIM card destroys the SIM card, does it not?
The card itself, yes.
That would have been the purpose in terms of cutting it up or ripping it up, to destroy it, correct?
Well, so nobody else could use the phone.
Well, that was my next question. But
In another phone.
But the purpose of cutting up or ripping up or the SIM card is to destroy the SIM card, is it not?
Yes,
And you wanted to make sure that somebody couldn't put that SIM card in their phone and potentially access your data, correct?
no, that wouldn't be the reason why.
Okay. Well, We already talked about the fact that you testified under oath on June 1st of 2023, correct?
Yes,
And you were under oath when you were testifying on June 1st of 2023, correct?
yes,
You swore to tell the truth.
yes,
You raised your right hand.
that's correct.
And June of 2023, June 1st of 2023 was about a year ago, correct?
Yes,
It was about a year closer to your throwing your phone away, correct?
yes,
And in that testimony that you gave in June 1st of 2023, did you say the following, quote, "I made sure that somebody couldn't put it in their phone"?
yes, I did say that.
In fact, by either cutting up or ripping up your SIM card, you also knew that that SIM card couldn't be put back in your phone either, correct?
Yeah, I believe that would be correct.
And you'll agree with me that you took that destroyed SIM card and put it in a trash bag, did you not?
I believe it went in a trash bag, yes.
Well, you used a passive voice. It went in a trash bag. Did it fly out of your hand unexpectedly into a trash bag, sir?
No, sir, it would have been disposed of with the phone.
No, I understand, but are you reluctant to say that you put it in a trash bag, sir?
Objection.
Can you answer that? Are you reluctant to say that?
No, Your Honor, I put it in a trash bag. Oh, with my
And
trash.
then you also took your phone, now without the SIM card, and you put that in the trash bag too, did you not?
Yes, sir.
Then you drove to a military base and you threw both the destroyed SIM card and the phone into a dumpster, did you not?
Well, I was cutting through the base, and I believe how I testified
Did you drive to a
was
military base, sir?
I was cutting through a base,
Did
yes.
you drive to it?
Yes, sir.
And then you put both the destroyed SIM card and the phone itself, which were in a trash bag, into a dumpster on that military base, did you not?
I believe that's what I did, yes.
And as you were driving away, you knew that that destroyed SIM card and the phone would be gone forever, correct?
Yes, I threw it away.
And before you drove away, you did not transfer anything from your old phone to the new phone, correct?
That's correct.
You lost all of your photos on that phone, did you not?
Whatever photos I had on there, I did, yes.
You lost all your videos on that phone, did you not?
To the extent if I had any.
You lost all of your other text messages besides the ones that you had with Karen Reed and John O'Keefe, correct?
That's correct.
And you knew that you did have text messages on that old phone with Kevin Albert.
He's a friend, most likely.
You also had text messages on your phone with Nicole Albert.
Most likely, yes.
And you had text messages on your phone with Brian Albert.
Yes.
It was important to you that no one see those text exchanges that you had with those three members of the Albert family.
Objection.
I'll let him have it.
No, sir, that's not true.
You took no steps to preserve those text messages, did you?
That's correct.
You did not ask your friend Matt Kelch, the agent, to help you extract those text messages, did you?
That's correct.
And when you went to that machine, you did not extract them yourself, did you?
He walked me through it. I did do the extraction.
You did not extract the 3 strands of text messages with Nicole Albert, Kevin Albert, and Brian Albert to preserve from that machine, did you not?
No, I did not extract those.
So the only place you knew they existed was on your old phone, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
The same phone that you put into a dumpster on a military base
Yep.
with a SIM card removed from the phone and destroyed, correct?
Well, I did throw the SIM card
Yes or no?
and the phone on the military base.
Right, and the SIM card was destroyed. You've already testified to
I
that.
said to the extent of if I did that, I would have done that.
And we're talking about the actual phone that would have had your text messages, again, with Brian, Nicole, and Kevin Albert, correct?
Yes, because the motion was denied.
Well, you've already testified, sir, earlier that you never received anything in writing that either canceled or lifted the initial preservation order, correct?
That is correct.
You knew when you were throwing that phone and the destroyed SIM card in the dumpster that from that day forward, no one would ever be able to access the content of what you and Brian Albert had discussed by text messages on your old phone, correct?
Anybody.
As it should be, DB.
I have nothing further.
Oh.
Mr. Lally?
Oh,
Thank you,
God.
Your Honor.
Yeah, work your way out of this one.
Good morning, sir.
All right, what am I gonna do here?
If I could take you back just for a moment to
As far
January
as
29th, early in the morning, you're pulling away from the Albert home, correct?
Yes.
And you had the plow down in the front of your Jeep Wrangler, is that correct?
Initially, it was still on the ground, yes.
And about how long distance again was that on the ground before you pulled that up?
Maybe a foot.
And with relation to the curb, specifically in front of the area with the flagpole and the fire hydrant, how close to the curb were you when you were pulling away from the Albert house?
I believe I looked both ways. There was no vehicles coming in either direction. I pulled out into traffic, and because that's a one-lane road, if there's no other vehicles, I'd be more to the center of that road.
Now, maybe a silly question, but with reference to the front of your Jeep Wrangler, that didn't have any red plastic pieces or anything like that on the front of it, correct?
At what time? At what point?
At any time.
No.
And that's the same Jeep Wrangler that you then drove to the Canton police station immediately after?
Directly from there, yes.
And then you drove that same Jeep Wrangler back to your home in West Roxbury?
Yes.
And then you drove that same Jeep Wrangler back to Fairview Road later on that morning?
Yes.
And then you drove that same Jeep Wrangler from Fairview Road to the Canton police station again later that morning, correct?
Yes.
Now, the text communications between yourself and Ms. Reed, again, who initiated those?
The defendant did.
And that was on January 12th, 2022, correct?
About 8:23 in the evening, I believe.
Now, with reference to that,
you're right, SJ.
what she
He's not
claimed
gonna go
happened in
there.
Aruba, that was something that she mentioned to you via text, correct?
The incident itself, I believe, was through text, but I believe the actual location was when she had stopped by my place in West Roxbury.
So that's to my point. So, sir, with regard to the incident itself, she referenced that both via text and in person to you as well.
Yes, that's correct.
And the kiss that she planted on you in the garage at Mr. O'Keefe's house, that was again something that she mentioned both in text and verbally in person. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, what? This is so stupid. This is so stupid.
Now, as far as the ghosting that you were
As
asked
far
questions
as-
about last Friday, there were some text messages between you and the defendant on January 19th, correct?
What was the date? I'm sorry.
January 19th.
19th?
Yes.
Yes.
And do you recall if there were any text messages between you going either way, between yourself and the defendant between January 19th and January 23rd?
I think there were, not 100%.
Madam Mayor, approach.
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 104A.
No, I think it's Higgins. I think Higgins has more of a motive. Jealous,
Direct your attention.
can't have Karen.
Back there, specifically the back page. If you could just let me know whether or not there's any text messages between yourself and the defendant, Ms. Reed, between January 19th and January 23rd.
You know, maybe I think maybe John might have known about or found out about the text messages, maybe confronted Brian Higgins inside 30
Yes,
Fairview.
looks like the
Like,
19th and the
no,
23rd, both
gets
text
out of
messages.
But in between those dates, and what I'm asking about is January 20th, January 21st, January 22nd. There's no text messages on any of those dates, correct?
I don't see any.
And then as far as between January 23rd and January 28th, January 28th is when you texted her while you were both within the waterfall, correct?
On the 28th, yes.
So between the 23rd and the 28th, so on January 24th, January 25th, January 26th, January 27th, you didn't send any text messages to her, you didn't receive any from her, correct?
I don't believe so, no.
And then beyond that one text message that you testified to on the 28th, the next text message you received from the defendant was in regard to John being dead on the 29th, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, you asked some questions about these text messages and whether or not you discussed them with various people. Did you discuss those text messages with anyone?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Why not, sir?
To be honest with you, I mean, on a personal level, I kind of keep things to myself. I was a little embarrassed. Wasn't really proud of them. Kind of maybe didn't show me in a good light with respects that I was John's friend.
And so with regard to that
It sure
text on
didn't.
January 28th that you had sent her in the waterfall,
Friends
she
don't do
didn't
that to
respond
friends.
as she was in the waterfall with her boyfriend, Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
That's correct.
Now, if the defendant did not have a boyfriend, wasn't dating Mr. O'Keefe, would you have been interested in pursuing anything further with the defendant?
I can't say. I don't know.
What, if any, reservations would you have based on the conversations that you had?
Just everything was so out of left field. I just found it hard to believe.
Then why did you pursue it, sir? John's friend right here. Great friend of
Now,
John.
with reference to going to the Canton Police Station after Fairview Road and moving the vehicles around, which is closer to the Canton Police Station? Your home in West Roxbury or the home on Fairview Road?
The home on Fairview Road would be.
And with the impending weather, why was it that you went to the Canton Police Station to move the vehicles around on that occasion?
Because as I stated before, if I didn't do it then, I would have had to come back in the morning. And I knew the weather was going to be getting worse. I knew that I had a long day. I had been in New York. I had been out the night before in New York, and I just thought it was best to get them moved at that point.
Now, you were asked some questions on Friday about a phone call or something in a call log from about 2 o'clock or 2:22 in the morning of January 29th. Do you recall that?
I recall the questions, yes.
And you have an iPhone, or you had an iPhone, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, when you make a call on an iPhone, as you sort of place that call, you hit the button, there's sort of a timer that comes up and it starts counting off seconds as the call is being connected, correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
And so seconds are ticking off while the call is being connected, correct?
I believe so,
And
yes.
if a call is connected, then it starts ringing, and unless someone picks up immediately, there are further seconds that are ticking off on an iPhone while that call is ringing through, correct?
I believe so.
The objection sustained is to the form.
You were asked some questions about a call or a call back between yourself and Brian Albert around that time frame. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you were trying to explain sort of what your answers were in that prior proceeding in reference to, correct?
Yes.
What, if anything else, did you want to explain to the jury in regard to that?
Objection.
In that form, I'll sustain.
You were asked some specific points as far as your testimony in the prior proceeding, correct?
Yes.
What, if anything else, did you say in reference to that in the prior proceeding?
Objection.
Sustained is to the form, Mr. Hall.
Did you ever speak with Brian Albert at 2:22 in the morning on January 29th?
No, I did not.
you recall making a call or receiving a call from Brian Albert around that time?
No, I do not.
This redirect is so worth it. Oh,
You were asked some questions on Friday regarding key card access within the Canton Police Station, correct?
Yes.
Now, as far as that door
As
that you
far
utilized, you would testified on Friday that you would sort of park down towards the back and then come in through the Sallyport area, is that correct?
So I believe I was referring to one of the two Sallyport doors.
And that was sort of your cut through in order to get to your office.
Yes.
Now, with reference to that particular area, as far as going in and out from the parking lot of the Sallyport, does the key card, you have to swipe a key card in order to go in and to go out?
So sometimes if you're close to the door, maybe having a conversation with somebody, it could activate the key card itself. But physically, if I'm going into the door, I would take it out and I would swipe it. I would hold it to the card reader. Some are more sensitive than others, is what I'm trying to say.
And similar to when you're going in, when you're going out, does that require sort of swiping or using the key card in order to go outside?
So there are some doors that you need to swipe out of, and I believe the booking room and the Sallyport itself are doors such as those.
May I approach?
Yes.
how does Lally even think he's winning this case? He's been smashed in this case. The Commonwealth has been completely smashed. The only thing that is keeping this trial
You can just take a look at that and stuff when you finish.
going is the liberal media that just keeps railing against Karen Reed.
You recognize that, sir?
Yes.
Is that the same document that was essentially the same document that was placed before you on Friday?
Yes.
And that's a 167-page document encapsulating different key swipes within the Canton Police Station on January 29, 2022, correct?
Yes.
And from those 167 pages, at least on that first page, does there appear to be about 27 entries there?
Yes.
What they
And
go
so
with.
from 27 entries over a course of 167 pages, that'd be somewhere north of 4,500 entries within those 167 pages. Does that sound right?
Well, I went to public high school, but I'll take your word for it.
Would it surprise you that there are 18 entries within those 4,500?
So not what would surprise him. Ask the question differently, Mr. Howard.
You know that there are 18 entries that contain your name within those records? Objection. Formal question.
No, I'll allow that.
Are you asking me if in the 167 pages, there's only 18 entries with me?
Yes.
I did not know that, no.
Would that surprise you as far as your, well, let me rephrase that. Now, with respect to your travels around Canton Police Station on that particular day, would you quarrel with 18 entries as far as where you went and what you did in Canton PD that day?
No, in and out, nope.
Now, sir, with respect to your phone, you were provided notification in regard to a preservation order in regard to your phone sometime in September of 2022, correct?
I received a subpoena on September 30th, 2022.
And that was in regard to a hearing at which counsel for the defendant was seeking your physical phone as evidence, correct?
Yes.
And is it your understanding, or were you informed after that date, sometime in early October of 2022, that that motion had been denied?
So I believe it was October 21st of that year, I was made aware that that was denied on actually October 5th.
Are you aware of a 30-day period by which a defendant has to file some sort of notice of appeal of a motion? Objection.
I'll allow that.
I know typically there's appeal periods. In this particular sense, I wasn't familiar with the preservation order itself. What a preservation order was with respects to that was kind of all new to me. Usually in an investigation that I'm conducting, it's a search warrant. I take the phone. I don't ask people to preserve it through a court order, if that makes sense.
And so when was it that you disposed of your phone?
It was about 2 months after that,
And why was it that you disposed of the phone?
because it was beaten, it was broken up, and I had already had a new phone, and I just, only explanation is I threw it away. That's it.
What a
Now,
liar. Dude, you're
Beyond sort of
lying.
this case, what if anything else was going on with reference to your personal phone that led you to want to get rid of it?
So in July of 2022, I had a target of an investigation I was working who alleged that he called me on my personal cell phone.
Look at the jury.
And
Look at the jury.
when I questioned him as to the fact how he obtained my personal telephone number,
This is such
he
bullshit.
told me that his girlfriend had obtained it off of open source internet, which I later confirmed that number was out there.
Who's
What if any
believing
concerns did
any
that
of
raise
this?
for you, sir?
Well, I had a lot of concerns. And that's, so July of 22 is when I probably started thinking about, you know what, I got to get rid of the telephone number itself.
And a lot of the work that you were doing, at least at that time, was undercover work. Is that correct?
Before this case right here, yes.
Now, as far as the SIM card that you're talking about, do you have any specific memory of doing anything with that SIM card?
No, and that's how I testified in that other hearing, that to the extent of what I would have done is I would have cut it up or broke it. And the concern would be that to my understanding, that's not holding any photos, that's not holding videos, that's not holding my contacts, it's holding phone information itself.
And as far as photos or videos or what, if anything like that, did you even have one?
I didn't have much, in the sense that I'm divorced. I don't have kids. I didn't have the typical memories that somebody would have had on their phone that they wanted to preserve. They were more like the text messages with the defendant, where it would be a drink glass at a bar, food, something along those lines. I had more of a connection to my work phone and more of a value to my work phone than I did my personal phone.
This guy is such a fucking liar.
Now, as far as that military base down the Cape, how often, let me ask you this, when you lived at the residence in Barnstable County, what would you do with your trash down there?
Well, if I was going through and I had trash or some recycling, and I was either getting gas on the base or hitting the duty free, I would occasionally toss a bag of trash in one of the dumpsters there. Or if I forgot, I would throw it out when I got back to my other property. And at the time, at one point, I was living in Canton, and I had the house there, and then I sold it, and then I had the in-law I was renting, so I had other options to throw things away.
Do you have trash pickup at your residence in Barnstable?
No.
So if you were to throw away anything, any sort of trash, it would have to be either at the base or at one of your other homes.
It would be somewhere else.
And so with reference to the phone and the SIM card, if you even did you drive specifically to the base to throw your phone away, or were you throwing it away with other trash?
It was just with other trash.
You were shown some call logs or some toll records or something to that effect last Friday with respect to calls that you had made or received around January 29th, 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
And was that anything that you had specifically preserved and given to the troopers, or that was something that someone was able to obtain even without your phone or without your SIM card, correct?
That's correct.
May I approach this to retrieve now?
Yes.
We get lying crap.
One moment, Charlie.
Yes.
Well, sir, going back to January 29th, pulling away from the residence on Fairview Road, You didn't see anything on the side of the road, is that correct?
Absolutely not, no.
And what is it that you would have done had you seen anything, or had you seen Mr. O'Keefe on the side of the road on January 29th?
I've spent my whole life between being a firefighter, working in the profession that I work now, being a tactical medic. If I had saw John O'Keefe on the side of the road, I would have done something to make a difference.
No further questions.
Yes. Jurors, feel free to stand up and stretch.
I'm taking a break. Oh no, there's sidebar. So who's believing Higgy here? Who's believing Higgy? Let me know if you believe Higgy. Do you think Higgy is believable? If you do, type a 1. If you don't, type a 2. And it's just I really feel for the O'Keefes. I really do. Because these are the people they're rolling with. These are the people they're rolling with. And his poor mother has to sit through this. And I'm just wondering, like, what are you thinking at this point? You know, what are you thinking, Miss O'Keefe? What are you thinking, Paul? What are you thinking, Aaron? I mean, these are the people that you rolled with. And they're getting shredded. And this is not even the defense's turn yet. I mean, they've just been whacking them on cross. So do me a favor, while you're punching those two, smash the like button. Let's get this out into the old evil algorithm. And I appreciate all the new subscribers, all the new members that have come in. We just hit over 22,000 the other day. It's incredible. 22,000 in like a year of just grinding away on YouTube. And I would not be in this position if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you. And, to the subscribers that come across this channel, or other viewers that have come across this channel, if you haven't subscribed, please do turn on that bell notification so you know when I go live. Because that's what we mostly do here. We do lives. And I think I looked at my statistics the other day. Like 68% of the people that drop by this channel don't subscribe. Just subscribe. It's easy. Hit that subscribe
Sir,
button.
you testified that a prime motivator of you to get rid of your phone was a July 22nd call from a target of an investigation that you were working on.
I never said it was a prime motivator.
Was it a prime motivator?
No, what I testified to was the phone number was what I was concerned about primarily.
Right.
Didn't have anything to do with the phone.
Oh, you did not change your phone number on July 22nd, correct?
July of 2022? Is that what you mean?
The date that you received a call supposedly from a target of an investigation you were working on was July 22nd of which year?
So I believe it was July 25th of 2022.
July
I was so
25th.
concerned that I reported it to my supervisor.
Right, but you did not change your phone number after that for quite a while, correct?
I believe it was September.
Okay. So for those months, you kept the same phone number and kept the same phone, correct?
I did.
And September happened to be the month that you received the preservation order from this court, correct?
September of 22, yes.
Right. Now, with regard to the text exchanges that you had with Karen Reed, you testified that you were embarrassed about them.
Well, I wasn't proud of them.
I think your word was embarrassed, correct?
I can agree to that. That's fair.
Well, you already testified to that, right?
I believe that
About 5 minutes ago?
might have been a word I used, yes.
And you also explained that you would keep things like that to yourself, correct?
That could be something, yes.
However, you would also agree with me that while they were going on, you told your boss about that text exchange, correct?
Well, I told her about the kiss.
Do you deny telling your boss about the texting that you were doing with Karen Reed?
I don't know if I specifically recall that, no.
But you don't deny it, sir, correct?
It's possible that I told her about that. I'm not going to deny it.
All right. And in any case, those text exchanges were preserved. You preserved those before disposing of your phone, correct?
Correct.
And with regard to the other text exchanges that you did not preserve with the Alberts, including Brian Albert, are you familiar with the term consciousness of guilt, Mr. Higgins?
Objection, Your Honor.
The objection sustained.
I may have a moment.
Yes.
Just one more thing. With regard to the date that you changed phone numbers on your phone, you would agree with me that was September 29th of 2022?
When I actually changed the phone number?
That's what I just asked.
Yeah, yes, I also got a new phone. Yes.
Okay. September 29th of 2022, you changed your phone number and got a new phone. And then September 30th, the next day, you were served with the preservation order, correct?
I got the preservation order on the 30th. That's correct.
Nothing further.
All right, Mr. Higgins, you are all set, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I
Thank you.
wonder who they're gonna call next. I heard there was only 2 more witnesses. And Proctor is
All
not
right,
one of
Mr.
them.
Lally, who's your next witness?
May we approach?
Sure.
Uh-oh. This will be interesting. So I think Higgins a big fat liar, in my opinion. Yeah, I that's what I heard. It was the kids as well too, which is just terrible that they're gonna have to go through this. And they're probably gonna have to turn the camera off, but you probably will hear audio. Because if I believe they're still underage, is that correct? I think they're still underage, so they probably will turn the camera off, or the camera might just be on Karen. Yeah. You're probably just going to hear audio because the kids are young, and still very young, which is just awful that you're going to have to put these kids up on the stand. I mean, that's how brazen this Commonwealth is, to bring underage kids up on the stand. No audio. Wow, interesting.
First, we're going to take a 10-minute recess.
You are unmuted.
All rise to the court, please.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna do my best. I literally have about another hour here, and then I do have to go to work. So I'm gonna do my best to try to keep everybody up to date. Maybe we head over to X, and I can read Jess's tweets as they come through. But I get it. We got about another hour here, so we're gonna be on a 10-minute break. I wonder if there's any new videos that have come out, any new snippies. So again, I'm just trying to kind of nail this down. I think Higgins, Albert, obviously Jennifer McCabe, Matt McCabe. I think Matt McCabe got more involved because Jennifer was involved. Colin Albert in some way is involved in this. I can see a scenario where obviously we've seen these kind of flirtatious texts back and forth with Karen, and I'm just going to dump this out for a second. Obviously we see these flirtatious texts with Karen and Higgins. I think Higgins was ultimately pursuing her, and then after a certain amount of time, obviously Karen stopped talking to Brian. They made the point of Higgins going to the waterfall and trying to get it out there if Brian Albert may have tipped him off that John and Karen were going to be there. I thought it strange that Higgins left the initial bar that he was at, ran over there, and it was just like this perfect timing. Sends the "I'm well" text. I think that still shows Higgins pursuing Karen. And then ultimately, something might have pissed Brian Higgins off. I think the whole, if I can't have you, nobody can, might have kicked in. Everybody was drinking. Ultimately, everybody goes back to 34 Fairview. John gets dropped off. Karen leaves. John walks into the house. Could have been an argument that pursued or started between Higgins and John over those text messages. Maybe John found out. Maybe John knew. And a fight breaks out and it gets out of hand. And then possibly because it's Brian Albert's house, or John might have been getting the better of Higgins, Brian Albert jumps in, Colin Albert jumps in. There you go. Dog gets scared, jumps in. Or the dog was sent on John. So, I mean, those are kind of the scenarios that I throw around. Yeah. How about that? How about at the bar? John sees the text pop up on Karen's phone. Or maybe he saw the text pop up on her phone in the coming weeks. Didn't say anything and waited. Casey says John probably saw the text from Higgins pop up on Karen's phone, and that probably pissed John off, so he went to 34 Fairview to confront Brian Higgins. That's the scenario that I see at this point. Here's a situation. A previous girl that I went out with, I saw text messages come up on her phone, and I knew they were happening and observed it happening for 2 weeks or so. And I saw the name of the guy that was texting her. Now I knew her father's name, and I saw the name that kept popping up on the phone, and she would clear her phone real quick. Well, I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm pretty observant. And we were in the car going to return something at a store, and I saw it pop up again. And I held my tongue and I waited. And this is how good I am. I said, "Oh, who's texting you?" "Oh, it's my dad. They're down in, my dad and mom are down in Florida at their house right now. He's telling me about the weather." She keeps spinning this story. So I let it spin out. And just before we get out of the car to go into the store, another text message comes up with that person's name on it. So I get quiet and we're walking. And I'm mad at this point because I know she's lying to me. And essentially, we went into the store and she decided to kind of pick up on my vibe that I was being quiet. And she goes, "What's going on?" We're outside the store and I looked at her and I said, "I know your dad and mom are not texting you because the name that's coming up on your phone is not your dad's name. So what's going on?" And then as I dug in and found out it was the ex-boyfriend, well, that ended our relationship. That day it was over. Went home, dropped her off, and that was it. Because I caught you in a lie. And I saw this going on for a couple weeks. And then I just had the opportunity to spring and bring it forth, and that was it. Because I knew she was lying. So that possibly could have happened in this situation. Casey's got it right. Maybe John had been seeing this activity going on. Maybe John saw it that night. We don't know how the name was stored in Karen's phone, and I'm sure they probably would talk about that. John went to 34 Fairview, maybe said something. Everybody had been drinking that night pretty heavily. Went in and said something to Brian Higgins. Fight breaks out. Pushing, shoving match. Fight breaks out. Ryan Albert jumps in because it's his house. It's a possibility. Holly says, plot twist, Higgins was the ex-boyfriend. So again, we're waiting. I got a little bit of time here, about another hour or so I'll be with all of you. And then I do have to head out for my day job or my night job tonight. I didn't know. I was a gentleman. I drove her home. We didn't say anything. We didn't say anything on the way back. And I essentially, she knew she was caught, dropped her off at her house, and that was it. That was it. It was over. Over. OVA, like we like to say up here in Massachusetts. I was a gentleman. I did drive her home. And she tried to snake her way out of it, and it wasn't going to work. And I knew at that point, over. OVA. Gone. But, yeah, I took care of that situation because I'm not a fuck. You know, I'm not a sucker. Casey knows me all well. If anybody doesn't know, this is my girlfriend in the chat. Yeah, when I get quiet, that's my telltale sign. If I get quiet, you know that something's on my mind. OVA, over, OVAH, over. Yeah, but that was it. All right, so Northeast Whitewater checking in. That's a cool name. I like that. So Higgins, DEA agent, pulled a Hillary bleach bit phone, pulled out the SIM card, destroyed it, drove out of the way to throw trash. Nothing weird there. Exactly. If you're a jury and you're sitting there hearing this crap right now and believing any word that this guy is saying, you've got to be in a fifth parallel dimension somewhere. And again, I sit here and say it over and over and over again. What has the Commonwealth shown? Please, somebody just tell me here in the chat if you're pro-Commonwealth, if you stand with the McAlberts. Just give us something in the chat here that has shown Karen Read has done this. I don't see it. I'm trying to, when I watch this trial, and I know it's hard because I'm so pro Karen Read, sit here in the middle and just say, how can I look at this case? Where is the angle? Where is the evidence? What? Just show me something. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. No, Jackson is not there. I think he had a previous engagement. And then the reason there's no trial the rest of this week, I think some jurors had vacation that they wanted to get in. And it was very reluctant that we sit with this same jury. And I can understand that. You don't want alternates coming in. You know, the alternates haven't been in the courtroom. The alternates haven't seen how that the vibe inside that courtroom, or, you know, what the families are doing, or how the witnesses are testifying. What are their emotions? What are their actions? Are their eyes shifting around? The alternates haven't been there. So well, because they want the best of both worlds. So I can pursue this other person and that salaciousness of it and that excitement of it and that thrill of you know, the back and forth. But if that fizzles out and dies, I'm already comfortable. I have something already. I just go back to that. You know, that's what a lot of these people see. And that's what a lot of these people do in these kind of you know, like the Watts case. You know, Watts had a side piece and his wife. And, you know, according to everybody, they had, well, now that the documentary came out, it wasn't the perfect life, but it looked like the perfect life that Chris Watts was having. And then, you know, had this side girlfriend. And he wanted the best of both worlds. He wanted to be free of marriage, free of kids, and have this girlfriend that he ran off with and did things. And, oh, the alternates are in the courtroom? I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I thought the alternates are not out. You know, you want that best of both worlds. So instead of just breaking everything off, because there'd be so much heavy implications, it would be an embarrassment to the family. You would have to deal with child support. You would have to go through a divorce. You would have to split the house. So they just take off and they do these side things, and then it just gets even more spun where they end up murdering their spouse. And I think Owit makes a good point in this. Why not just leave? Just break up. Why ruin the lives of your wife, your kids, the family, friends, neighbors? I mean, this has such impact. That's a lot of things that people don't understand. My best friend was murdered in 1994, and just the rollout from that, fallout. I'm sorry, the fallout from that. You don't understand. It affects family. It affects cousins, friends, neighbors, the community. Um, it's crazy, the fallout from all of that. So again, we're just on a break. I'm just going to get up for like 2 seconds and use the restroom. I'll be right back. And again, I'm going to try to stream as long as I can here for you. I'm probably going to have to do a cutoff at like 10:50, 11 a.m. because I do have to head out to work my day job. So this is the Alan Jackson Action Jackson shirt that I came up with. I made a few and put them out there, and then someone had got back to me and said and warned me about copyright and all that, because this is not actually my photo, only a couple released. I don't think Jackson would have a problem, but it's just too much legal stuff I wanted to get into. Thought about making others, but I just haven't got around to it. So it is what it is. But if anybody is looking to buy some shirts, I have some great shirts up on ltltruecrime.com, and I'll drop the link there if you want to look through them. In the interim of us waiting to come back to court, I would appreciate it. I'm going to get up for like 2 seconds, use the restroom. I will be right back, I promise. But we'll hang out here and wait for court to resume. They're on about a 10-minute break. I do believe that I think there's only 2 more witnesses, and that's just the kids to get up. So I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm hearing no audio, no video. We'll have to see. And if it's no audio, then we'll go over to Jess Machado until I do have to head out. So I'll be right back, I promise. Excuse me. All right. So, I was just thinking, oh, wow. Sean, thanks for telling me. Sean says, Ted Daniels tweeted that the media was informed they can't tweet while children testify. Interesting. I just don't understand what this is going to do to get these children up on the stand. I mean, they're probably going to say that Karen was great to them. Is anything aside of like Karen and John physically fighting, I don't see what this putting these poor children up on the stand to testify is going to really help in this case. Obviously, there's never been any reports of domestic violence or anybody arrested as far as domestic violence. So I just don't see it. Why are we going to torture these children and put them through this? And this is the disgusting tactics that the Commonwealth is using right now. Yeah, I mean, this is going to traumatize their lives for the rest of their life. This is the way that the Commonwealth thinks that they're going to win. I'm going to put these children up on the stand for sympathy. And I just don't see where it's going to hold a lot of weight or water. I mean, if anything, you're damaging these children. Ooh, my voice cracked. Oh, you're damaging these children. So we'll have to see. Let me check in with Jess Machado and see what she's saying on the Twitter. But I wonder if they're going to address the court before they actually do this. So I'm pretty sure they are. Yeah, great tweet from Microdots right now. It says, all-time low, forcing the O'Keefe's niece and nephew to testify in the illegitimate Karen Reed trial is a new low, even for the Commonwealth. Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. Jess from Fall River Reporter says, we are just informed that we will not be able to live tweet anything while the children are on the stand. We will shortly be going dark, apparently, and unable to share anything. It's just disgusting. Aiden Carney checking in inside the courtroom today says, we were told that we're not allowed to live report or use computers or phones while the minors are testifying. Other reporters believe they are interpreting the order incorrectly, as this seems as a huge First Amendment violation. We are allowed to take notes, pen and paper only. Yeah, this is a great response from someone on Aiden's tweet. Says, these kids know nothing about how he died. It's disgraceful calling them to attempt a character assassination. Another person chimes in and says, in another case, as I've watched, the public can still hear the testimony. They don't have to show the minor on video. What makes this case so different? I completely agree. I mean, anytime a minor that I've seen that has chatted, has testified during a trial, they've usually just cut the camera off, or they just go to, like a wall or something like that and play the audio. So this will be interesting what they come back with. And maybe that's something they're discussing right now at the sidebar. But it's just a sad day that you have to put the O'Keefe's niece and nephew through this torment and this torture. This will psychologically affect them for the rest of their life. And I think Rogue said it up in the chat earlier. If I did see it, she said, Lally has no moral compass. The Commonwealth has no moral compass in this. This is what this has come to. Absolutely zero moral compass. Child of God says, this judge, though, I'm very disappointed with her. I've been employed with criminal court for over 30 years and have seen many judges at work. She is awful. Well, she's for the Commonwealth. She's in the back pocket of the Commonwealth. I mean, it's been clear through all of these hearings, and especially on display here during this trial. 1,000% with the Commonwealth. I mean, you had a federal ATF agent that was on the stand that destroyed evidence, his phone, and just not just the phone, not just smashed the phone, took the SIM card out and smashed the SIM card and smashed the phone and deposited it on a military base. That is an absolute federal crime. And the fact that he only extracted select text messages off his phone with the assistance of Kelch, his best friend that is with the FBI and is trained in digital forensics, allowed to go into this public office to law enforcement and extract select text messages off his phone using FBI equipment. Now, my determination on all of that, how they all got caught up in this and how it got caught, was Higgins didn't go in there and announce anything. His friend guided him through the situation. They probably log all of the extractions on some type of log, and it probably wasn't logged. And then when the questioning went around the office as to how much trouble someone was going to get in or what is this, Kelch probably spoke up and said something to save his ass. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't even have gotten involved in the first place. Why would you even risk that? Well, because it's part of the cover-up. Part of the cover-up. All right, let's go back to Jess and see if she's given us any updates. Let's see. Nothing. 26 minutes ago, lots of activity outside the courtroom. Paul O'Keefe and his wife stepped out for a minute. Judge is telling jurors there will be a 10-minute recess. Judge has asked if there will be minors. Judge has asked if there will be minors testifying next week, and she said, and he said there is. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay. We'll wait. Oh, yeah. But I'm sure that they didn't log it. That's how this all came up. And it was questioned. Or even if it was logged, let's just say it was logged. I'm sure it was questioned. Like, why are you using this? Why was he here? Paula, Karen is awesome and much like the rest of the prosecution witnesses has actually helped the defense more than hurt them. And that is well played divine intervention. Got it. Well, maybe someone knew a way around the system. His buddy was his best friend was an FBI agent. I'm sure he's been in that office millions of times. Here's a way around it. You know, it's not far off the table, Rogue. It does happen. They find ways to get around the system. I mean, for Christ's sakes, look what they've done in this case. Look why we're here. They found ways around the system. But now that we're putting this all out on the table, people are starting to see it for what it is. A cover-up, corruption at its finest here in Canton, Massachusetts. Excuse me. Paula says he incriminated his buddy FBI agent who will also face criminal charges. Char says Higgy got so teared up when talking about his sister, but yet says he didn't save any texts or pictures with her. That's a good point. Didn't think about that. Didn't think about that. That's an excellent point. So again, we're on a 10-minute recess. I get a little bit more time here with you all, and then I do have to head out to work, unfortunately. Unfortunately, and then hopefully time this week I'll do a recap. Sorry, I'm answering my dad. Yeah. Lisa says they maybe couldn't match it to a case they were working on. Yeah, I mean, essentially, Higgins was not an active investigator on this case, and I think Jackson made that point in his cross on Friday. That's probably how they got caught. Let's see. Char says, I've given this trial so much energy. I got called for jury duty in Fall River. Oh, wow. You were probably hoping you could have been on the jury for this one. Child of God says a total of 8 butt dials in one night makes no sense. Yeah, I said that before. You know, you got 3 people, I think, that have come forward already and said that their active phone calls were not from them. It was because they were in butt dials. And I said, I put a tweet out the other day. I said, listen, you know, I get it. Maybe one person can butt dial someone, but 3 people come forward, all in the same case, all in the same trial. How ironic that they all butt dial during this certain amount of time. It doesn't make any sense. It statistically could not happen. Statistically could not happen. Yes, I mean, Canton, the butt dial capital of the world, butt dial capital of Massachusetts. No, it's the butt dial capital of the world. Everybody apparently just butt dials everybody in Massachusetts. Excuse me. Let me see if there's any updates from Jess. Nothing yet. I'm following her text string. You know, put it on a t-shirt. Yeah. Yep. This case is crazy. It's crazy in the sense that we're sitting here, you know, having to go through this. Karen having to be dragged through all of this. For something, I mean, she clearly didn't do. It's coming out in court. Paula says Guinness Book of World Records is interested also to see how you butt dial with a passcode, not one, but 3 people multiple times on the same night. That's a world record. I agree. That is a world record. Good morning, Kathy. We got a little bit more time here. I'm going to hang out for about another 15 minutes. Maybe we get some kind of update, and then I do have to go, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I have to work. I gotta worky. I gotta go to worky. But I appreciate everybody hanging out in our chat this morning. If you're a first-time viewer, make sure to subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, and for previous viewers, make sure your bell notifications are turned on, because my statistics say that 68% of the people that view this, that's a large crowd, 68% of the people that view this channel are not even subscribed, and those are return viewers. So let's get those subscribers over here. let's give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Yeah, it's pretty gross, Kathy. Kathy says, I hate that these kiddos have to testify. I pray they weren't coached and told what to say. I'm sure there probably is some of that going on. Basil's Bezel checking in, says, ring that bell. Thank you. I appreciate it. Paula says, darn work. I'm off the rest of the week. I never take days off, but I always hoped I could be off to just watch this trial. Yeah, I'll be off Wednesday and Thursday. Probably Thursday night, I'll do a recap. Because my last Thursday night was phenomenal. We had almost like 1,800 people in the chat. That was great. I appreciate that. And we'll do a little recap. I'm hoping to hook back up with Natalie Lawyer Chick. She had reached out to me and said, hey, let's do something again soon. So maybe I'll go over to her channel. Or she'd come back here. I'd love to do something with Kurt again from Uncivil Law. Kurt jumped up on the channel the other day. I never had met him before that. He jumped up and I was like, oh, wow, that's Kurt from Uncivil Law. I watch his channel. And that was a nice treat. So I'm hoping Kurt and I could do something again, too. They were great guests. Very nice. Fun to hang out with. Jessica, I appreciate that. Jessica said every court day I go down the list of my live list in everyone's videos. Even if I don't stay, I bounce around. Well, I appreciate that. Nothing updated from Jess Machado. Her last tweet was 26 minutes ago. Let me see if anybody else has tweeted. Let's see. Ted Daniel, 21 minutes ago, says, Chief Court Officer just told all media we cannot tweet or take notes on the computer while minors or children are testifying. I'm complying with that directive. We'll post after their testimony is done. Huh. All right, we're in tow. Paula says, Brian, I love your impromptu and great at what you do, that you just invite all other creators and fly, and that's always awesome. Thank you. I try to go into it with a little bit of a plan, when I do these lives and when I do these collaborations. And I think collaborations are great. I mean, that builds relationships with people, that builds partnerships and friendships. And, not only do we get to kind of cross breed our audiences and bring people into new perspectives, like things like, people like Kurt and Natalie, they're not in the Massachusetts area. So they don't get really that full feeling. And I was very proud that I was able to do that with them the other day. And hopefully that resonated with some of you and resonated with some of their, their subscribers and their crowd. Turtle Boy is in court today, from what I know. And it's, I just always felt like YouTube, especially in the space it is today, that, collaborating is always a great thing. It's great for all parties that get involved because it kind of meshes all those audience together where they may be watching one certain creator and getting kind of their take. And that's why people subscribe to those creators. But you bring in a new person and hear their perspective or their rundown. And I've had people on that I don't totally agree with, or they might not totally agree with me, but at least gives the opportunity for us to all mesh and open people up to new creators and new ways of thinking in these cases. The way that I look at it, all resonates with all of you. The way that Natalie, gives that feedback to her audience or perception of what's going on resonates with them. And maybe they see that and they go, oh, I kind of see what, she's saying, or I kind of feel what this guy's kind of, talking about. I don't know. I think people get like really weird sometimes about, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that because they're going to take my subscribers and this and that. Everybody watches all these channels. It's just who they choose to watch during these lives and what videos cater to them and pull to their personality or their way of thinking. I've never seen a problem. I think sharing is the best thing. Get as many people on as you can. People want to hear those authentic conversations. That's why people come to these channels. It's why I've always done live shows, because it's live. It's not scripted. It's got to come out of my mind. I got to think about it at that certain time. And I just always think, if I try to sit down and do seriously, if I try to sit down and do an 8-minute video, it takes me like 8 hours because I can't do that. Stop, record, stop, record, stop, record. When I just hit live, I just go and spill everything out of my brain. Some things you might want to hear, some things you might not want to hear, but that's how we do it. Maybe they're testifying still. I don't know how long it's been, 15 minutes or so. Yeah, I wonder if Lally's going to put them through the weather report. Pinky checking in. She says, I totally agree. I love watching different creators and their opinions on the case. Paula says, social networking is what life is about. Learn, grow, and reach back and continue to grow fast. I agree. I really do. And I try to do as much as I can to bring as many people out and on the show as I can. I don't have a problem doing that. I reach out to different people all the time. And they want to do it, they want to do it. If they don't, it's no hard feelings. It's all right. I get it. They have their own objective on their channels too, and their visions of what they want their channel to be. I've always wanted to try to make it more of a community thing. Always tried to do that. Yeah, I think the Aruba trip is going to be questioned as well too. Excuse me. Let me see if I got any new tweets and Twitter. Let's see. Bezel's checking in. Look at this. A member for 19 months on the channel. I appreciate your support. He says, a rising tide lifts all boats. It was a quote by JFK. Thank you. I appreciate your membership and being able to highlight that membership. I appreciate it. All right, I'm going to hang out probably about another 3 minutes, and then I do have to get ready for work and go. I apologize, but I'm sure that you all will find the channel that you'll hang out with for the rest of the day, and I'll try to get some type of recap together probably over the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll come back and recap some of this. I think it's going to be if it's just the niece and nephew today, that might end the day here, and maybe the prosecution rests, and then next week, start Monday, after the long break from the jurors, start Monday, defense is going to start their case. probably what's going to happen, in my opinion. But we'll hang out about another 3 minutes, and then, like I said, I do have to go. I'm sorry. We'll see what happens. But I haven't seen any update tweets or nothing yet. A lot of people are angry putting, the niece and nephew up there. I'm reading some tweets. All-time low, forcing the O'Keefe niece and nephew to testify in the illegitimate Karen Reed trial is a new low, even for the Commonwealth. I just tweeted out, and if you haven't joined me on Twitter, please join me on the Twitter, or X. I still call it Twitter. I think everybody does. Twitter. Follow me on the Twitter. The link should drop. You can just join me there. I just put a tweet out. It says it's pretty disgusting that Lally's going to put the O'Keefe niece and nephew on the stand during the Karen Reed trial. Where is the moral compass here? Yeah, and then Babs just replied back and said, why not put Proctor on the stand? I guess they're afraid. He did lead the investigation after all. 100%. Why not put Proctor up there? Because you know what? They know there's so many fucking holes and so much corruption and cover up in that guy's fucking story that they're not going to risk it to put him up there. But guess what? The defense is going to call him from the witness list that I have seen. And again, it's a projected witness list. We don't know that for sure. But I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't put it past the defense that Michael Proctor will be called. And probably the first person they call on that defense witness list. All right, my friends. I apologize. I can't wait too much longer. I do have to get ready for work. I got to go. So let me do this. I'll drop the Law and Crime Network live feed in there if you want to jump over and do that. If not, find your favorite creator, and hopefully when I'm come back live again, you all will be here. I do appreciate it, but I do have to go. I can't hang out too much longer. Hopefully next week I'll be back in the studio. They are installing air conditioning units inside, well, a big, huge air conditioning unit inside the building right now. They've been actively doing that. I haven't been able to go over there. It's been at some points like 85 degrees in the building. I'm up on the 3rd floor. I tried going in like a couple of days ago and doing a live from there. I sat in the room and just sweat. And I'm like, nope, can't do it. I do plan on going over there on Wednesday during the day. I'm going to hook up a Wi-Fi extender because I've had some issues with my Wi-Fi where the stream has been dropping, and I'm hoping to get that fixed. If not, I'll just talk to the building owner and maybe we can work through that issue. So I know some people are complaining about the Wi-Fi over there. It's got some dead spots. So maybe we can fix that and work through that. But listen, I want to thank everybody here today for bouncing in with me on this kind of impromptu live this morning. We got to at least see the extra cross on Higgins, the redirect, and then we're now been in this kind of long extended break because the O'Keefe's niece and nephew are supposed to testify today. They may be doing that right now. I don't know because all media is shut down at this point. So listen, I appreciate everybody here. If you're a first-time subscriber, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up on the way out, and continue to support LTL any way that you can. I do appreciate it. Just come here and watch the lives. Check out the videos. A couple of my videos are doing really, really well right now. I got 3, I think, that actively have over 20,000 views on it. We've had a lot of new subscribers that have come in. So it's their first time on this channel. Go back and watch that previous content if you haven't seen it. And I'll try to update as best as I can. But I got to go, my friends. I love all of you. I got to head out to work. Boo! And then tomorrow I'll be off the next 2 days. Yay! So we'll get some content in, I promise. And everybody be good. I hope everybody had an amazing Memorial Day weekend. If you're on vacation right now, continue to do that. Enjoy yourself. I have a feeling today is going to be maybe the prosecution rests after the niece and nephew testimony. And then possibly on Monday, we could be picking up on the defense's case. So we will see. Thank you all. I love all of you. Thank you all for the support over the last couple of months. And thank you for supporting Karen Reed and all of the kickback that I've been able to do We've raised right now, I think the last total is well over $1,000. So thank you. We've kicked all that back to Karen Reed's Free Karen Reed. And if you want to today, you can do this as well. I'm going to drop the link. If you want to just donate directly, you can. I'm going to drop the link here in the chat. And I will see everybody soon. Thank you all so much. I love you all. Talk to you soon. Oh, my voice cracked again. Bye.
Take the change and set the trap.